Now then, people, and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. Already nearly 1,000 people in here. Don't waste time. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Get your comments in, and of course, hit that notification bell. Make sure you subscribe to these fantastic channels as well. Mr. Joe Blackburn, that's really loud, bro. Turn that down a little bit for us, please. Right, okay. Yeah, not great. Really, really bad. Really bad. Second string or not. For Leeds United to concede 6 goals in 2 games. And listen, I don't want to hear it's a cup. I'm sorry. If anyone wants to say that tonight, you can crack on. But I don't want to hear it's the cup. You know, I think the manager, God, I like him, but he's not. He'll be on a very short leash. We know this already. Things are happening, and listen, Twitter's not a fair barometer of what's going on. But I had texts tonight, and I read them on the stream from people that were at the game. Jay from Ought to Know Better being one, for example. You know, the people saying it's an absolute shit show. The performance was really poor. I mean, I'm gonna have to mute you, Joe, because that's really loud, bro. Can you turn it down a little bit? You can hear absolutely everything. Yeah, so the performance was really poor. I think, look, I was a bit like, just mute you again, bro. If
I turned my mic all the way down. I don't know what's
yeah,
going on.
I can still hear you. Like, let's not. I'm on a short leash tonight as well. I'm fucked off. Yeah, everything was all wrong again, and we've seen the movie before. It feels like deja vu, and then the second half, we didn't even turn up. And I think it was really silly for him to make 5 changes at once. I get it's never happened at Leeds United before. We make 5 changes at once and then expect there to be a semblance of like people knowing what they're doing, and then we concede straight after that, and the game's gone kind of vibe. Like I just, yeah, I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss to know what to say, really. Like, it's already 2 games in, and we're like, shit. And we can't afford to be like this. You know, we can't afford another August. We cannot, regardless if it's cup or not. We've conceded 6 goals in 2 games. Again, we need players, which is mad. We do. We need players. Maybe the squad wasn't quite where we thought it was, etc., etc. All this shit. Of course, everyone will want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, and maybe I'm doing that, and I was told to relax, and I'll probably be told to relax again because it's the cup, and does it all matter? But yeah, I don't know. So. Who wants to go first? Jack City, you were here first. I'm gonna hand on over to you, and while you do that, I'm gonna run to the toilet, please, bro.
Cheers.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm just glad that Hinchcliffe's back. I'm just glad that I can listen to him for 90 minutes. To be honest, that's probably the only positive I can take from the. You
mean you weren't listening to me, you knob?
No, because you're good, but you're not quite as knowledgeable as Hinchcliffe. So it's the only thing we've got. It was awful. The first 20 minutes, you know, like we always seem to start well, and then we dip off, which seems to be a bit of a fashionable thing that we do, don't we? We start well for 20 minutes, and then it dips off. They come into the game a little bit. I presumed we would do the same in the second half. That's what I was obviously hopeful of, and then that just didn't happen. We started so poorly. The 5 changes thing, I know Farke has now gone from everybody asking for changes to them when he's going over top with changes now. 5 changes is just, regardless whether it's the first team from Saturday or whatever, that is just too many changes to make in one fell swoop. It just rips the heart of the team out, doesn't it? You just don't know, you know, any relationships try to get built within the game. It's that everybody's coming in cold. Wobber got caught quite a lot, I felt. Rodon got caught for that goal. I know you put that, Luke, on your Twitter, which I agree with you, man. Like, it's not a fashionable thing to say that, but ultimately he did get caught, and I feel like he's getting caught quite a bit. But I do think Rodon, I'm still glad he's at the club. I still think it's a good signing.
Yeah, I don't think
Rothwell will go for 20 minutes. You are, Luke.
To touch on that, Jack. I don't think it wasn't singling Rodon out by any stretch. I don't think anybody was good tonight, but by a long shot. I just felt, like you say, it's not trendy to say Rodon's been poor, because actually he's been fantastic for his last season, and I don't think I thought it was poor at the weekend as well. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
and I'll say
no, he was poor in pre-season. He was poor in pre-season. He couldn't pass the ball 5 yards.
But it is. I mean, I completely agree with everything that you were saying there, Jack. In fairness, I'm glad, and I hope we're getting these shit performances out of us early on. In fact, I mean, I haven't spoken about the Pompey game properly yet, but I actually think we played really, really well against Pompey. Despite the scoreline, tonight was absolute chalk and cheese. We didn't, other than the start, Jack, as you rightly say, first 15, 20 minutes looked like we're probably going to win the game 3 or 4-0, steamroll it, and then just drop off and I don't know if it's lack of attention, if it's the actual way we're trying to play or what. That lineup, how is any. Explain. Talk to me. What
before we do, I don't know what people are trying to do in the chat here, yeah. But you need to get in the fucking bin with that stuff. I asked Joe to stop typing because it was really loud. Simple. So I don't know what you're trying to do.
With my mic more than anything. Like Joe's not doing anything wrong there.
Exactly.
I would expect that from absolutely anybody. That's fine.
So yeah, I don't know what you're trying to do, but whatever you're trying to do, pack it the fuck in.
Unless they're desperate for the good vibes. They're desperate for the fact
maybe.
that
Is there any good vibes, Joe? Is there any good vibes, bro?
One good vibe. I can take some of the blame for this because yesterday I did a YouTube community post saying I'd do a stream every day until Leeds lose. That's probably on me.
Well done, mate.
I'm going to put an asterisk on that and say in the league. God, it's a nice bit of encouragement to get a left back. Yeah. Because the moment Strout came on, it was like, you're trying to play at centre back, aren't you? You've forgotten how to play at left back, and even when you knew how to play at left back, you didn't really play at left back.
He's never known.
No. I'll keep thinking, and I'll let you know if I get anything at all.
Did you? I know you were just touching on Rodon there. Can we talk about the car crash that is Maximilian Voba? Like, my man was breakdancing. What the fuck?
I'm straight up. He can fuck off out of this club.
Oh, it was bad, man.
I was all for. Yeah, we've got to give everybody chances. We've got to give them, the hope that they can, that they can make something right for it. He looks fat. He looks overweight. He looks slow. His decision making was appalling. He got sat on his ass for the first goal and didn't do anything. I'm not interested. This was your opportunity tonight, Maxi boy, to put in an effort to show us that you had the ability to either come into the squad or to be there as good backup, and you did nothing. Every pass was wayward. Everything was just appalling. He just looked horrific. And Luke, I agree with you. I think Rodon's been particularly poor, but having that absolute dog shit of a... And you know what I'm like. I'm normally, let's be calm, let's be, and we'll be dog shit, gone. Not interested.
Pascal at the side of him, though, Paul, at the weekend, and it was no better.
No, I agree. Rodon has been poor throughout the entire...
Since we've signed him.
Yeah, pretty simple. Well, it's taking the number 6 number. I think that's the shirt number. I think it's cursed, that, isn't it? Long live Coops. But just the whole game, it was.
We had one shot on target, Paul, man.
5 shots, but it's not just that. Can somebody please take Ampadu to one side and say, you are a central defender. Stop trying to go back and sit in between. Sorry, you're a centre midfielder. Stop trying to go back and sit in centre midfield. Stop it. Because the space that you then create between you and Piru, it's too big of a gap. It's far too big of a gap. Far too big of a gap.
I think that's instruction to Farke. He grew it last season.
It's
the difference is, to be fair, I actually prefer it this season, ridiculously, but it's better when Ampadu comes and sits in. Gruever's been going and getting it off the centre-back, which is the most frustrating thing in the world because there's no need for him to do that. At least when Ampadu's coming back, it's the strategic thing and the 2 centre-backs go further out and then the wing-backs get forward. Ampadu's not going and getting it off the centre-back. He's becoming the sweeper, isn't he?
Yeah,
Well, that's the strategy, isn't it? I mean, and then to be fair, Rothwell's been further forward today, played much further forward. So
I thought Rothwell was maybe.
Yeah, it was all. Yeah,
He's
in the
decent,
first
and he
half.
can actually deliver a ball, which is a breath of fresh air.
But just if I just think if Farke's going to do that, bring 3 at the back. Play 3. Just play 3 at the back. Just play 3 at the back with wingers. I just.
But that's a different formation, isn't it, man? I take your point. I don't like it. I can't see the point in it. I think Rodon's been poor on ball, but he's good enough on the ball from what we've seen to do that job. So I don't get it. And definitely not when Wobber's there, who can't move. He's so immobile. So trying to get him to push on, it were catching us out so bad. I mean, I don't think getting rid of Wobber, whatever, is what it is. But I don't know if Wobber's, what type of backups have we got? Cooper got a lot of stick, didn't he? Is Cooper better than Wobber, would we say?
Well, I forgot what's his name.
I mean, I would say what,
though, is he?
Nobody else will.
Yeah, no,
So
I'm back here, bro.
But
Well, at least Cooper wants to play for us. That's what it is. So yeah,
I think Wobber wants to be able to play football. I just think he struggles.
That lad who came on in second half and went centre back was all right as well. I felt, man, he was a good organizer, good leader. Yeah, he was all right.
That guy we had to get rid of.
Yeah, in League One, I think, something like that. Anyway, but hey, it is what it is.
Just and I don't like doing it and digging players out as large as what we normally, well, what some people like to do, but Bamford was so poor tonight. I don't want to hear anything about service. I don't want to hear anything about the ball being passed over to him. But my issue is he wasn't, not until the second half, he wasn't tracking back enough. He just wasn't tracking back enough to try and build the play up a little bit or to affect the play a little bit for me. And just not good enough. It's like I know he's not the quickest, but I do feel like he's lost an extreme amount of pace this season. He just doesn't look. I mean, I know he's never looked fast, but he just doesn't look fast.
He's been fast. I don't know what we can't do. Seriously, I mean,
he could have scored. He could have scored. To be fair, I mean, I thought that was it was arguably offside that run there. So that was a bit unfortunate for him. I know what you mean. He didn't really do too much else in the game. I know what you mean.
I'm going to struggle to blame Bamford for this.
I wouldn't pin him.
Collectively, they were dog water. They were absolute dog water.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we conceded the third goal after we made the 5 substitutions, but then you can see the difference when Rutter comes on, when Nonto comes on, when Gruev comes on. I know it was an absolute throw the full kit and caboodle at everything, but you could see the difference straight away. And that's the biggest problem we've got. We have 20 players in this squad. It is not enough to get us where we want to be.
No, it's almost as if the squad isn't better than it was last season. Yeah, almost,
but what I will throw
it isn't. Almost as if when you put some of those fringe players in, we flatter to deceive.
Okay, so what I will say in response to that, and I said that throughout the game, compare that squad tonight with the lineup that played against Birmingham, and tell me it ain't better.
Again, but is
it better or isn't it? Is it better or isn't it?
If you're talking about the players, because we had
is it better or isn't it? No,
okay,
is it better or isn't it?
What you're doing is selective because we had pretty much everyone fit. If you talk about that Birmingham game and you take some of the players that weren't,
we made 8 changes. We made 8 changes
at that Birmingham game. At the time of that Birmingham game, we had Rutter, we had Sinistero, we had Somerville, we had Nonto, all in the club. That is better than what we have currently. So if you're going to look at the actual players that we had at our disposal at that time, yes, we ended up losing Sinistero, then yes, we had a better squad at that
I'm asking you to look at the lineup that played against
No, that's different. That's selective because you can't do that. We're talking about the squad.
All right. We didn't have a better squad. All right, we don't have a better squad.
We're talking about the squad. We're not talking about the lineup. That's very different.
Okay, we don't have a better squad.
Can I do something equivalently? Well, not taking an equivalent from last season rather than just pointing out the Birmingham match. If you look at the match against Shrewsbury, which was at the same stage of the same competition with the same rough availability in terms of injuries and stuff, that side last season had Hjelde at left back. That side last season had Paveda playing on the right wing. Gray played in the 10. JB was in defensive midfield. We played Shackleton and Cresswell. it wasn't a good side last season either. I'm agreeing. Like the
Yes,
squad last season wasn't great outside.
No,
of that
but
first
again,
game.
that's selectionary issues, and that was also when Farke didn't have a preseason; he didn't know he was playing. We're talking about the squad. We're not talking about the starting 11. We're not talking about the 18 that went in there. We're talking about the squad as a whole that we have at our disposal. What you're doing is a completely separate argument.
Okay,
that
cool,
I will
cool.
agree with.
All right,
But it's a
all
separate
right.
argument.
Okay, we've got a better squad. That we don't need to talk about that now, right? Fair. Okay, it's opinions. You can have that,
We
right?
don't have a lot of quality, is my point.
Yeah, no, I agree. I guess, yeah, we need more players. Yeah, 100%.
Can I say also? Sorry.
Yeah. Go
No,
on.
I didn't say. I was going to say. If you don't know why, I'm not even really that annoyed or down. I think it was actually quite funny to watch that performance by the end there. I mean, I thought we played well against. I was quite impressed against Portsmouth today. I thought we were that bad that it was actually quite funny to watch. I mean, there was at one point, you know how sides, and we've done it ourselves, yeah? You have wingers switch wings to try and confuse the opposition, yeah? We actually had fullbacks switching sides to try and confuse the opposition. We had Byram going over to left back at one point and Firpo drifting over to right back. And
We did that on Saturday, bro.
I know, but it's funny, isn't it, to watch that happen? Why are we doing that? And Byram, of all players who we already seen can't play left back, is switching over to left back and instantly giving a foul away. When you're watching that, how can you even take this seriously when you're seeing Byram at left back and giving the fouls away instantly? We were so open today. You have to even question whether they wanted to be in the competition. You're giving players, fringe players, opportunities to play. You're giving Gelhard minutes. You're giving Voba minutes. These are guys that should be looking to make an impact. And they did absolutely nothing. It was laughable. Sorry, I know it's just you were about to say something, but I was just
No, that's fair. In terms of, let me just get this. Joe's head's proper gone, boys. Knew it was ticking, but didn't think it would be gone this early. Get some rest, Joe, lad. Yeah, because I expected us to be front and centre from game week 1, and we've been shite in 2 games. All right, we were good in the first game, performance-wise, but ultimately we drew the game. We've conceded 6 goals at home. I mean, we went last season. It almost looked like, to me, at the end, like Farke's gone in pre-season. I don't need to worry about the defence. We had the best defence in the league. I'll just try work on the forward bits because there is no shape. Like, for us to concede 6 goals at home in 2 games is very worrying. And we're going to have to... Let's talk about Farke. Everyone keeps asking me in the chat. I'm not asking you to say, should we sack him or anything like that. But, look... We can't get away from the fact that it is 2 wins in 11 in competitive games. And if that was in 1 season, which it's not, we'd all be sat in here saying it's time to fucking go. But something needs to change and quick. We've got West Brom on Saturday. We didn't beat them last season. Corberan had his number. We lost and we drew. It almost feels like 3 games into the season, 1 in the league, 1 in the cup, that's a must win already. So I just want to get people's thoughts on Farke tonight, his tactics, his substitutions, just his overall game. And I want to go around the houses, give everyone an opportunity to say their piece. I'll start on the top. So Joe Blackburn, give me your thoughts on Farke and where's it going? Is it going? Because rightly so, questions will be asked already, which I know is mad, but we have to talk about it. The elephant in the room.
Yeah, I mean, of all the times to have the questions to ask, I guess the start of the season is the best time to be able to ask those questions because there's something that we can do about it in the short term. Like fundamental issues in the first half was whenever we would get the ball over to the right-hand side and try and progress it, it would be Byram with the ball and he'd look forwards and go, oh, shit, I don't fancy any of these passes, and he'd just sort of bail out of it. And then you've got Firpo on the other flank just going like, run. So we were completely unbalanced in that way. And then in the second half, we sort of thought, okay, so I guess Strout's a left back again, and we became unbalanced in completely the opposite direction. So at no point did we have any sort of defensive balance there. So it's a good sign to go, right, okay, we know there is a fundamental thing that we need to do in recruitment. We need to sort a fullback. Maybe we need a right back as well, because Byron was completely not convincing to me. And I feel like it would be, because everyone was saying, give it 10 games into the season, and then we'll have the Farke conversation because we'll have a better idea of where we are. In essence, we've played a League Cup match and one match in the league. That's what we've had. Whilst I'm absolutely not convinced and I'm not feeling very, very good after this match, I still think everyone that was saying, give it a month and then we'll make a decision, has basically gone, 2 bad performances, gone. And it's like, well, no, you set the boundaries beforehand, stick with it. Yeah, that's sort
And
of...
this is why it's important to get different opinions on the show, because obviously everyone has a different slant on it. So if you don't agree with Joe, it's fine. I like this is it. I genuinely don't know where I'm at. Like, that's what I mean. I don't know where I'm at, because I don't know if it's right to say after 2 games this ain't working. I'm even in my head going, like, when people ask me how long does he get, and I even think that 10 games, he's just got to win games of football. And if this continues, then it'll only end one way. Jack, where are you at with it, bro?
Well, I can't believe, I understand that, it's...
Do you think it's wild to have the conversation? Is that what do you think? Do you think it's even wild to be even conversing over it right now?
I can understand. The thing is, I don't mind the conversation. I thought 5 subs is wild. I didn't like. Did he make 3 on Saturday all at once? Yeah. I didn't like that. I didn't want him to drag both wingers off. But to then convert that into, is this working? He's got to go. Just seems extremely knee jerk to me. Everybody were banging on that he's got to make a substitution last year. Then he goes wild with his substitutions, and now he's got to go because he's going wild with his substitutions. So,
to be fair, he was
JT, we'll just go around the houses.
No. I'm not trying to interrupt. I was just
go on, JT. We'll have a go on.
No. I'm not even trying to argue. I'm saying I agree with you. No.
I just think we've been here before where get rid, and then does everybody remember what happens when we go and get rid? Because getting rid, believe me, is the easiest bit. And the problem with you all that just want to get rid, because I'm the idiot now for sort of suggesting we don't have to get rid, and that's fine. I'll be the idiot. But then when we do get rid, everybody forgets that they all said, get rid, go get somebody better in. And then when nobody better comes in, they go, get rid. Get rid. If you say get rid, if you'd have said at the start of last season, at the first game of last season, or the day that Farke gets there, get rid, you will be right. You will always end up being correct, because football managers last about 3 seasons if they're lucky. So you will always turn out right. You are a footballing genius if you say this manager will eventually get sacked. When Bielsa had them unbelievable seasons, he goes out in a ball of flames, doesn't he? He don't get nothing. He gets binned off 10 games before end, and then we go into absolute carnage. Well, you were right. Get rid of him. It worked, didn't it? Yeah, we stayed up, and then we were really poor. So, just get rid. Let's get rid. I'd actually, to be honest, just get rid of them all. Just let's start again. Let you lot start again. It does my head in, though. And can I say as well? I will say when I think this is a joke. Yeah, he's gone past it. He's lost the dressing room, all that stuff, whatever. But just get rid. Get rid. Yeah, get rid. Do you treat your day-to-day life like that, though? Is that life to people? You just get rid. Your dog has a shit on carpet and you just get rid. I don't know. So
no, it's fair, bro. This is right. I think it's a good conversation to have. 100%, man. 100%. JT, I'll come to you, mate. Where you at with it all?
Where I'm at with it all. I was going to say the thing. I do 100% agree with you. I will say he did have a bit of a string of doing it last season where he would do the exact same thing. He waits till the 70th minute and then makes fucking 3 or 4 changes. I don't know why he always tries to do that. Again, you might as well have rested them at the way they're playing. In terms of the Bielsa thing, I think it's a crime the way we turned on him and sacked him. And you're right, people are too fickle nowadays the way they switch things, and it is way too early to sack him. What I will say is the one thing that we were spoiled with Bielsa, we wouldn't have seen a game like this, because the only thing that I'm actually care about really is the fact it was just so boring to watch. The first half, there was like, at least if we're getting beaten or it's bad and we're actually having a go, it's all right. But today, the amount of times we just sat back and just let them have their way, there was really nothing. We resorted to hoofball at times watching it. And listen, I'm not even trying to throw Farke under the bus or say that he should get sacked. But one thing I will say is that there's certain players that last year we thought were having decent performances under Farke and were starting to build things, i.e. Patrick Bamford, Sam Byram. I know he fell off at the end, but he actually started decently. And you're looking at them this early on in the season playing that poor. Farke's had a whole preseason with them now. He should have got them playing slightly better football than that. We shouldn't be seeing certain things that we're seeing from them. Having said that, 100% way too early to tell. Unlike you, Joe, I know you're a bit of a results man. The way you're saying you care more about results than performances. Would that? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Right now.
Yeah. So for me, I'm not even saying that's wrong. That could be the right way of looking at it. For me, I'm more interested in performance-wise because it is so early on in the season. And I did think we had a good performance. I was opposite to you in that against Portsmouth before we had a good performance. Today, there was really nothing to show. And I think it does scream to a lack of quality, really. That's all. I think there's a lack of quality. I think when you take Rutter and Nonto out of the side, you see there's nothing going forward. I thought it was a big opportunity for Aronson today. Really, really big opportunity. He went missing. Gelhard went missing. Pirot was invisible. Fucking Bamford was doing up Casper the Ghost for most of the game. So I think it just screams to a lack of quality, and it shows that we really don't have a lot of team play. I thought we did have a lot of team play against Portsmouth, but I guess I'm a bit wrong.
So do you think then the answer is more players then, JT? Is that what we're coming round to? Because breaking news, bloody Marseille are close to signing row with the second bid gone in. So is it a case of you're saying, to pin down your point, give Farke more players? Because I'm with you on that. We need at least 3.
Yeah. It's not Farke needs more players. It's Farke has it, because on paper, the squad, whilst I think it's weaker than it was last year, overall, this squad, look at Middlesbrough squads, look at our squad. Even the squad we put out, our changed squad today, should be comfortably beating that side, in my opinion. It really should. And I think Farke isn't getting enough out of those players on the pitch. And I think last year, we papered over the cracks with individual quality. I think certain players, I'm not going to name certain players, but certain players bailed us out a lot last year. And I think we underestimated how much players bailed us out and how much we relied on individual quality. And I think we need to replace that individual quality if we want to replicate similar things to what we did last season.
Cool. Right. So, right. Yeah. Okay, cool. Luke, where are you at, mate?
I'm muted. I was muted. So, I'm probably a little bit more glass half full. Usually, first of all, I'd like to just commend Jack's analogies there. The dog shits on my carpet is out, by the way. No indoor shitting in my house.
Really? Mine had gone a long time ago. Trust me, it's always fucking.
But just to go back to what you said there, JT, about Farke relying on players rather than tactics and that sort of thing. I think if you can tell me a football team that doesn't rely on individual brilliance, I'd be very happy to hear from you, because every team has got that one player or at least one player. Tactics obviously maketh the sort of unit complete, I suppose. And when you don't have those players, i.e. a Marcelo Bielsa type side, then you do need to work as a unit. A Chef Wednesday, for instance, this season or toward the end of last season under their new management. So, but in terms of am I that reactive that I want Daniel Farke out after 2 games of the new season? Let's forget everything that happened last season. Just forget that and wipe it off. Because look, we got to where we got to. We probably should have got promoted. We didn't. Fuck that right off. This is a new season, new start. 2 games in, I've seen one good performance. I thought we played quite well against Plymouth, other than conceding 3 goals. One thing I would note from both of the performances I've seen this season is going back to the substitutions. Every time he's made those hectic substitutions, we've conceded immediately. Both times we conceded a penalty at the weekend, and then tonight we conceded as well, straight away. It's almost as if swapping half your team out for somebody else that haven't been running around for 45, 60 minutes or whatever it is, isn't going to work. Yeah. Now, I hope he's recognised that. And look, I was one to sort of shoot him down last season, say we do need to make changes a little bit earlier or we need to make more changes. But it's almost like there has to be a fine balance. You're right, JT. He did make 5 changes at a time last season when we're losing. We had 7 strikers on the field at one stage to try and chase the game. But I'm not in a position yet where I think actually I don't think Farke knows what he's doing. I think I saw enough positives from our immediate starting 11 from the first game, albeit we drew 3-3. That actually there was enough to take out of that into the next game away at West Brom. Now, do we have enough players? Do we have enough depth then to continue that throughout the season? Because players will get injured. There will be suspensions and everything else in between. I think tonight's proved that we don't. And I think that is a massive, massive factor. I've been very supportive of the squad size at the moment. I think looking at pre-season, we played through pre-season, and some of the younger lads having cameos, I felt we'd be all right. I think we probably needed 1 or 2, maybe 3 maximum. But I think on the evidence of tonight, I think we're probably, to be contenders and actually be realistic contenders and favourites for the league, I think we need 5 new signings and good signings.
Yeah, there's a lot missing, isn't there? There is a lot missing. Paul?
Yes?
Where are you at with it, Paul? There's just no chance creation, is there? That's what it all boils down to.
We shouldn't. No, we shouldn't be sacking Farke. It's very reactionary, I think. I agree. We call for people to be sacked. We call for people to get rid of, and it's like, well, who do we get in? And then when we get
bring me Carlos Corberan, man.
It won't happen. It's just that, and we forget. We've all got very, very short memories. We're all very passionate. We all very much live in the moment. And when it's not going well, I do it. I did it then when I first started talking about it. That is a turgid display to have to watch. And the conspiracy theorist in me thinks that Farke has played an absolute masterstroke of a hand, because that just shows to the board, please, can you open up your checkbook and get some players in, potentially? I don't know. Could be completely wrong. But listen, I agree with Luke as well. I think the game against Portsmouth, there was more to be positive about than to be negative about that game in terms of the way that we played. My issue is the squad depth. That's my biggest issue. Barring a couple of headline players that we have, there isn't anybody, given the 8 changes that we made tonight, there isn't, as a group of players, there isn't anybody that I would, that could come in and just change the team straight away. And I know everybody says that you've got to forget about what Farke did last season, but he did get that a number of points that he got last season. He does know how to get teams to win. I'm not saying that, look, he's done no wrong, he can't do any wrong, and he's the Messiah and everything and stuff like that. That position is reserved for Bielsa as far as I'm concerned, and always will be. But it's just this reactionary thing that we have as Leeds fans. I
think every fan base,
listen, we're worse than most, mate, and I think we can all be honest and say that as a group, we are absolutely worse than most. But it's that we lost. The game was shit. The decision making was wrong. The players didn't play how they're supposed to, and it was just an all-round poor performance. Get over it, move on. Now you will have to start asking questions if 2, 3, 4 games down the line, results are still the same. Then the questions can start to be asked. Not should we be getting rid of him? More of what do we do? Why isn't it working? But just that knee jerkiness. It's be careful what you wish for, because we get it, and then we're just in the wilderness for another 16 years.
Yeah, it's yeah, and listen, not by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think anyone's Farke out yet. I don't think anyway. I just think it's, for me, I think it's, I said it yesterday on another channel. I'm just worried, man, because it's like do or die this season for Leeds United. I feel just with the parachute payments, the money, and all this sort of stuff. I am really, really concerned, and I think I've whipped myself into a frenzy of thinking we are going to barnstorm this. Like, I genuinely, and listen, we still might, and this is what I mean. But unfortunately, like, it's like we're reacting now to a game, and that's why emotions are high. And you know, unfortunately for me, I'm not a fan that can just fucking switch it off. I can't, mate. It sticks with me. You know, I wish football didn't have such an impact on me, but it bloody does. And then, like, it's like, oh, for God's sake, I've got to wait now till Saturday to see if we win again. And it's like, it's just really, really tough, man. And tonight, was bad. Is there a case to say that's the worst performance we've seen under Daniel Farke?
QPR.
QPR.
Yeah, QPR aside. And that came within this 10, 11 games. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Has something changed? I don't know. I don't
No.
know. I just... Sorry,
It
go on,
hasn't.
mate.
No, it hasn't. In defense of you, though, because I know the way you're speaking and stuff, you do get a lot of stick. And defense of all of us, really, especially you, as you get the most. Listen, at the end of the day, we're all on here. We've come on camera. At the end of the show, people have come to listen to opinions. You can't have a show where you just all say, it's early doors in the season. Let's just leave it as next time. You have to give an opinion. You have to say something. So you're going to have to put it on the line. That's just the name of the game. That's the nature of the beast. We're here to talk about football. So you know what? Sometimes the comments we say may come a bit more, harsh or a bit whatever, but that's football. You're here to give an opinion, and that is what it is. And listen, as you said, when you've watched a terrible performance like that and you've come fresh off the game, you're gonna say, mate, it was a fucking terrible performance. It was boring. I've wasted 2 hours of my life, which I could have been doing a lot of other things. There's somewhat decent weather outside. There's a plethora of things I'd rather have been doing than watching that. So yes, we're going to come on.
It could have been worse,
We're gonna be in
JT.
a bit of a mood.
It could have been your eldest's 10th birthday and you made her watch it with you.
Oh, really? Is that what happened today? Oh, no.
Imagine if you're taking them tickets, Luke, eh?
Do you know? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I nearly took her as well, man. And she's going on holiday first thing in the morning as well. She'd have been absolutely knackered. I had to watch that shite.
Oh,
Is this part of the reason, as well? Because it's tongue in cheek, but yeah, I had us barnstorming it. Do you know what I mean? Did any of us expect it to look this shaky? Because it does, man. Defensively, if you take away the attacking against Portsmouth, defensively we're all over the shop. All over the shop.
Why do you think that is, Joe? Why do you think that is? Because we were all really looking forward to this back four
100%
before the start of the season.
100%.
And Bogle's certainly not showed his worth as yet. We've not seen a good performance from Bogle yet, I don't think. And Stroik coming back in from injury, it was absolutely fantastic before he got injured last season. Next to Joe Rodon, who was some people's player of the season.
Yeah.
And then Firpo had a steady season. I don't think Firpo's done great again at the start of this season. I just don't think it's... He's not been great, man. Nobody's been great this season yet. Come on.
Nobody's been great,
be
but he's
real.
not done anything that's hugely his fault.
I mean, he was partly at fault for that first goal, him and Rodon. I think it was probably more Rodon. But anyway, without nitpicking, I don't think we've
got the Firpo Defence League over.
Yeah, listen,
No,
I think you've got such short memories, man. Do you not remember Blackburn away?
Blackpool.
Yeah.
It was Blackpool, man.
Blackpool away,
Blackburn. Go on.
I'm not trying to dig anybody out personally. It's almost like that defensive unit hasn't clicked yet, and when it does, we will be sound. But we needed that to happen in before the season started. They had that opportunity. So, is it a case of maybe we look at putting Ampadu further back again and bringing a midfielder in, starting Gruev next to Rothwell? I don't know, but something's got to give, hasn't it? We can't concede 6 goals at home or 3 goals every home game this season, otherwise we'll be fucked.
No, yeah,
in a word.
It's mad, isn't it? This is a mad take, Crypto Stephen, and I know, but I said it. I got battered for saying we had to win the game. We need to get winning, but I don't. Right, okay. If people said it's the cup, not really asked and all that, but then we can't just go, oh well, it was the cup. It was a poor side. They had a run out and we were shit. It's concerning how shit we were. Mm-hmm. That has
I've never said that. So
I know. Yeah, no, I'm not saying it to anyone, Jack. But it is there's reasons to be concerned after watching that, right?
It's not. I'm just on about the cup. I want a cup run. I don't understand any of it done.
Yeah.
I don't get this focus on league thing. Is that why we didn't go up last year? I don't get it. Do you want to win football games? Do you want to actually enjoy watching football, go on a bit of a run, play against some big team in Premier League or whatever, sort of have a bit of a yardstick, see where we're at? Or do you want to get beat 3-0 on the second game of the season to Middlesbrough at home and then go, well, that's good for our season? When he's losing a football game, good.
No,
Seriously.
No, it's not. And as you said, listen, one of my highlights, we didn't go up last year. One of my highlights, if not the highlight of the season, was going Stamford Bridge away with this man to my left. It was a phenomenal day at the office, and it is something I can look back on. And listen, even to that comment, I don't even totally agree with that, because it wasn't just a bunch of no names out there.
It was championship opposition.
There was a lot of fringe players in there. There was Brendan Aronson, who the only reason he's not in the squad is because he's just come back into the side. And he's someone who, in the 20 minutes he had, I thought was impressive. And I really wanted to see what he said. There's players like Joe Gelhardt, who's still young, who was once one of our brightest prospects, who really should have been making a name for himself. There was players like Voba, who's come under a lot of criticism. And when he was at Leeds in the last 6 months of the Premier League campaign, was our best defender. And there was a lot of players there that really could have stamped a mark for themselves to have some regular game time this season. And that's the most disappointing thing, is that those players just flattered to deceive. So I wouldn't say that we just put a flat side out and wanted to lose. Listen, first of all, as you said, we won a cup run, okay, because winning the league and getting promoted is not guaranteed, as we saw last season. So you want to enjoy football as a fan. You want to play big sides. And also, players should have been, they got opportunities, some of those guys.
Do you know what's a worry on the back of this as well? Knowing the Farke from last season, after we put out a change side against Stoke and got beat, he never did it again. He never trusted them individuals again. And I look now, he's changed the squad, like wholesale changes, and they've been walloped. And I mean walloped.
He's gone early.
He's gone early, right? So then there is also a case of he'll be that fuming that he'll probably go, you're not getting that opportunity again. And it's true. It's true. That is a concern, right? Or am I being too, go on, Jack.
I'm going to get loads of stick for this, but I don't care again. So in the 20 minutes that we were decent in the game, I thought Geldardt were decent. I thought he was probably our best attacking player. I think he's got a nice few little touches. We know exactly what Geldardt is. He's quite nippy on ball. He can go either way. He can beat a man. He was looking to pass forward every time he got on ball. He looked like he wanted to affect the game.
Strong
then
as well.
The game goes to total cack, and then he never gets an opportunity again. I actually feel for him. When you're putting out a side that's got eight changes or whatever it was, and with that bad, and then his career basically gets signed out, and we just go, right, you don't play again now for 9 months, and then I might give you 15 minutes at end of season. I don't think you're not bringing players into a thriving.
So is that the manager then on that respect?
I won't make 8 changes.
Yeah,
I don't think they need it. I really don't. I don't think it's beneficial for these fringe players. I don't get... You're doing the same thing what he did when he brought 5 on. You're just ripping the heart of the team out and then going, right, you lot that have never played together, and they should be better. They should still be better. I'm not saying because they train every single day together. They come on at the same games. They're used to being subs. They know each other. These aren't random players. It's not the defence of this performance, because it was whack. It was horrific. But I don't like the scenario. It happens a lot, particularly to young lads. Put them on put them in a starting 11. So make 2 changes and start Geldardt and Aronson. Or even Bamford, Geldardt and Aronson, not Harrison. And at least that is like your frontal together. You're going at it together. It's just pulling the whole team out. Everybody that came out, you're just pulling the whole heart of the team out. Every creative part of the team goes. And then you're asking these young lads to go, or not even if they're young, but just these new lads, fringe lads, to go and make a claim for themselves. It's not a place to thrive.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying 100%, and I do agree with you. But just to play devil's advocate, Borough also made 7. Do you know what I mean? And
it's not a defensive performance. The performance is horrific.
Yeah. No, I know that.
Geldardt ain't playing again now, is he?
No,
He's not
probably
played Geldardt the whole time. He's never played Geldardt, and then he puts him on in a game like this, and we get battered, and now Geldardt's done now, isn't he? You won't see him again now. I
think Jack's got a great point here as well. For them 5 lads to make 5. Jack, you did have a great point, by the way.
I'm joking.
I know you were, bro. But that there is something in that as well. It's for fuck's sake. I mean, Voba, I'm not asked about, because I thought he had an absolute stinker. The breakdancing for that goal killed me off. But yeah, there is a case of that as well.
That's a good point. That's kind of what I'm saying as well. And then they get mauled off. It's like, right, all of you that we started, get off. And then, like I say, we'll never see him again. It's just I don't mind being a bit ruthless. Like you say with Wobble, whatever, just go, oh, mate, you're only playing centre-back. You're not asked to change the game. Just You should be able to defend.
Yeah.
Don't know.
What's happened? I'm just worried about the creativity side of games as well. When they were in a 5 and Isaiah Jones dropped in and they had like 5 at the back, we literally did nothing. And it won't be long before at Ellen Road, if we're going up against low blocks, that boos start to ring out. Genuinely, Luke, you're nodding your head. You're there week in, week out, right? You're playing a game. You're struggling. You're passing backwards. You're passing sideways. It won't be long before the crowd start to vocalise how frustrating that is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mate. And then it doesn't get any easier because who wants to play in front of boos and that, you know, players will pretend or they won't even pretend that it's quite obvious that they're not enjoying that. You'll see the old player, your Amped, who's your owners, try and lift the crowd and that, and there's no coming away from that. Once that starts, the rot's in, isn't it? You know, and unless they physically turn it around, it's an awful atmosphere to be in as well. It's like a cauldron, you know. You don't want to be part of it, you know, but it can't be helped. It's one of those things. I just find it really, really difficult that to understand how things can be so bad, like based on, you know. I mean, I more agree with you, Joe, than I do with JT around the squads and the players that we've got available to us at this stage of the season. It is better than we had at this stage last season. That first game we played last season against Cardiff was Shackleton on the wing and whatever else. We have got a better squad available at this stage of the season. Whether it's weaker or whether it's not got as much depth is a completely different question. The players we have got at our disposal is better, and we should be getting better results. It's as simple as that.
On the squad thing, I just had a little bit of a thought because I've brought up the lineups now because towards the second half, I sort of got to the point of, right, I'm going to half watch this because honestly, if I give this all of my attention, I might lose my mind. But having a quick look at the sort of starting lineup at the moment, in terms of that front four, we've got Pat Bamford, who is a number 9. We've got Piru, who is someone that is on the final stage of attacking moves. He's someone that likes to finish it off.
I don't know what he is.
Yeah, he's not that creative. We've got Gelhardt, who started out as a 9 and is sort of in that weird transition to a 10, but he played out on the wing. And then you've got Aronson, who isn't known for his passes that crack a defence. So in terms of like pure level of player, I think, yes, it's an improvement on last season, but is it a question of we've not quite got that balance this season? Because do we have someone who can crack open a defence as a backup to Ruter in case Ruter isn't available, like he wasn't on the pitch for the start of this match? Or is it just a case of, well, hope that by brute force, Piru and Bamford and Gelhardt will find a way through?
We played some nice things in that first half. At the very start, first 15, 20 minutes, there was some good fast feet, there was some good touches, there was some good movement, and then it just seemed to stop.
The second half was so bad. The second half, we didn't touch the ball for like 5-6 minutes, and then they scored. And then it was curtains from there, wasn't it? It was curtains. We genuinely, I think they had 92% possession just before they scored. And then they're defending for Dyke Steele. I mean, Aronson lets him go. Then he runs past Firpo, past Rodon, and then Voba breakdances. And then it's like, what is that? That is so bad. And then I can't even remember the other two, if I'm being totally honest, because I was gone. I mean, I think I celebrated their third. Like, clapped it. Way, well done. You know what I mean? Curtains.
For me, what happened in the first half, Middlesbrough were pushing on to us, which was playing to sort of like into our hands a little bit. And we were able to, like Luke said, we were able to put some good stuff together. We were able to sort of create without creating sort of too many chances, if you like. But then what Middlesbrough started to do sort of halfway through the first half is they were moving, or their defence was going into a 5 and their midfield was just moving slightly shallower, which just meant there was a huge gap in our midfield again. And because of that, we just stopped creating chances. And they came out at the start of the second half in exactly the same way. And we just couldn't deal with it at all. Just couldn't deal with it.
I don't know what the answers are, folks. This is the thing. I genuinely don't know what the answers are.
The answers are we were flat. The answers are, as you said, we had.
How do
that
we
15
change it, though,
minutes of the
JT?
game.
How do we change it, bro?
Listen, the hard thing about answering that is the two performances for me were so polarizing. If I compare this to the performance on Saturday and the performance today, it is chalk and cheese. Like, those look like two completely different sides. So it's hard to say whether it's just a flash in the pan. It's hard to say whether there are fundamental issues. There are a few issues, as I said. There's players' performances that are getting worse, and managerially, you're going to have to look at him changing tactics. You're going to have to look at the squad. You're going to have to look at bringing in certain personnel. But certain players that have been given those opportunities, certain players like Voba, you're going to have to say, listen, mate, I don't care how much money we can get. We have to get them out of the club. Like, they are not going to offer anything. And if there's someone like Voba that's literally going to be there occupying squad space, you don't want to overbloat a squad with these kind of players. Look at a club like Chelsea. They have so much quality, an overbearing of quality, but not enough actual like top draw players to impact games, that it just screws the whole team and it screws the whole mentality. And clearly you've got a lot of that, and you saw it today. You have a lot of very good fringe players, but not good enough to actually crack this side and create enough of a difference. So you need to get rid of some of these players. You need to replace it with a bit more quality and go back to something of Bielsa. Don't overbloat the squad with players that don't need to be there, because we brought a bunch of players back on loan that either are just about good enough to get into the side or are just on the fringes. And you need either players that aren't quite as good and are going to be accepting that they're not as good and are going to be happy to play a role as a squad player, are going to be good in the changing room, are going to be good in the training ground, and going to put 100% effort in, or you need top players that are going to impact games. And right now, I think we have too many players that are just in that middle level. And I think you can see today, there is definitely some sort of issues mentally within the squad. So I think generally you need some quality players and you need to carry on shifting some of the players. That's my only thing that I can say from this that I think could be fixed, because otherwise I think the performances are so different that it's hard to actually tell what needs to be changed, and we need a bigger sample size of games. The unfortunate thing is, before just when I do lay count on, is we can't wait too long to test this out because there's only a few weeks left in the transfer window. So we're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place right now, in my opinion.
Can I just say as well, like I get that we played really well on Saturday, but like some of the chat reminded us, it was fucking Portsmouth, and a lot of them chances were created in the first 10 minutes against a new team that looked absolutely shell-shocked for 10 minutes, and then when they got the shit together, they were all right. And listen, I don't want to, it's revisionism or whatever, but let's just have that in mind, because, you know, on Saturday we play West Brom, and then we've got Hull City, and Sheffield Wednesday, and Burnley. And then it's like, okay, then we're going to really see where we're at, I guess, you know. And this is where Farke's job will be kept or lost this month, 100%, because, you know, the facts are that opposition there they're all going to be up there. Hull, Sheffield Wednesday will under Danny Roll, Burnley definitely will, West Brom, you know, Corberan continues to do it with no money. He did it at Huddersfield, he's doing it at West Brom. You know, so you know, we can't get away from that fact that and like someone said, Pompey lost to Millwall yesterday, and I seen someone's Twitter saying Pompey just didn't have enough quality in attack, and I looked at it and I thought, fucking hell, man, we conceded 3 against them. Do you know what I mean? But hey ho, like I've just seen this, right? This is what Farke's had to say. He's taking it all on himself. Doesn't feel the players should be too self-critical or dwell on it. He said the 8 changes killed the game. It was always a big risk to do that. And he struggles to explain, you know, the second half implosion. But just under that, and this is a key point that we have to remember, I think Tom Carnduff, anyway, he's a Leeds United fan, says regardless of team selection, we're still seeing roughly the same style of play, and we're still doing the same things. And making that point again of remove the individual quality, and do we get the same results? Is that the problem here? Look, it's too early to say, but a lot of people told me this last season. I didn't agree with it, but is that coming through? But it is just 2 games. There's a long way to go yet, but I don't think Farke will have that long if it doesn't fucking change and quick. He's got to win at the weekend. If we lose again at the weekend, you know, it's not good. I'm sorry, it's not good. And I don't care that it's 2 games in the league and 1 in the cup. To be honest, not right now, no, mate, because Corberan showed over 2 games, much like, say, someone like Ryan Lowe at Preston. I know he's got sacked now, but he had Farke's number. The guy who was at Birmingham and then went to Blackburn, who's at Blackburn now, what's his name? He had his number over 2 fixtures.
Does it matter if somebody's got the manager's number? Genuinely.
Yeah.
Does it?
Well, for me, yeah, because he's got to go and put a tactical plan to show that he can compete with Corberan.
Why?
To win the game of football, Jack.
Yeah, but it's about winning in multiple games of football, and it's not about winning a single game of football. I want to win the game as well, but I just don't think it matters that Guardiola don't rip everything up because one guy's maybe got his number.
Well, no one's got his number, have they?
Solskjaer had his number. Solskjaer beat him every time.
That's fair.
Solskjaer's not a good manager. He had his number.
No, that's fair.
If you want to finish 5th or 6th in league, we'll play like Corberan.
My biggest...
We win a lot of games. We will win a lot more games than we lose this year. So whether some gadget's got his number or not is... I don't expect Farke just to rip up what he's done because one guy beats him. It's not a boxing match.
No, I hear it.
So on Saturday then, so if he's got his number and he loses again... No, I understand that, Jack. But let's say he has got his number again and he loses, then that's 3. Like, he's got to win. He's got to find a way to win. I don't...
Right.
No,
I think what you're kind of getting, you're kind of confusing each other's points a bit. What Jack's saying is, it doesn't matter if one manager. It doesn't matter if one manager has your number. I know if I'm trying to be the voice of reason, no, but as in he's saying if one manager has your number, then as long as you overall law of averages.
No, of course, I get what he said.
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
But then you can look at a side, I saw it in the chat, like Southampton. Like, it is important to win these individual battles because we lost the individual managerial battle against Southampton, lost to them 3 times, and that cost us promotion. So there are definitely things. And he as you said, he does need to improve against Corberan. He does need to make sure that he's not tactically outwitted because
Farke will know that he's lost them games. Farke will know. This notion where these managers are just so stubborn that they make 0 changes. All they do is they just don't make wholesale changes, apart from today, obviously, where he's made 8 changes and we've been wank. But just in general, he will be making subtle changes, won't he? It's so easy to look dressing room as well. And if he just packs up and goes, right, boys, I don't know if you're aware, but West Brom beat us twice last year and Corberan's a much better manager than me. So we're going to go like this today. They just go like, what? Well, what have we been training for then? Are we seriously going to set up against West Brom in a state of panic?
No, but you have to win the game, bro. You can't...
But what if we win the game playing how Farke plays? Will you just take all that back then and say he's no longer got his number?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's hope he wins on Saturday then, and then Farke's better than Corberan.
I get what Jack's saying. What he's saying is Farke's not going to just rip up the rule book and start offering brand new, different passing patterns and things like that. What you're saying is Corberan's got his number because tactically, on paper, they've got worse than him. Yeah. Against Farke, but not over the course of a season, he's not better than him.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah,
and that's where Jack's coming from.
Okay, that's perfect.
We're not. I mean, that's basically the Arsene Wenger mentality of I'm not going to adapt how I play to the opposition. We're just going to carry on playing my way or the highway, and over the season league campaign, it's going to work. Having said that, there are times in which if you're saying that a side is being bailed out by individual quality a lot, then you're basically saying tactically, it's not just Carlos Corberan that's having his number, and there's a lot of other managers that are arguably having his number. It's just those managers don't necessarily have as much quality as someone like Carlos Corberan or Southampton when we played them, so we are able to be bailed out by individual quality. So whilst, yes, I don't believe Farke should necessarily change his tactics wholesale for each individual manager like a Carlos Corberan, I do think that you do have to look at that. If Carlos Corberan does embarrass him or mug him off again, then you have to start looking, listen, mate, is there a fundamental issue with Farke's game plan with quite a few managers, and are we being bailed out by individual quality?
See, I thought our plan B this season was the reason we hadn't signed any more wingers, which I think we do need, and it's quite obvious we need wingers now to replace wingers.
We need more we probably need more than the 3 players that we think we need as well, don't we?
But my thoughts were, having seen pre-season and tonight's starting lineup, was that actually our plan B might be to play more narrow with the wingers, and that hence the Joffrey, hence the Aronson, hence Pirro can play in there. That was my reasoning. I thought that is our plan B. That's what we go to, and the substitutions at Portsmouth at the weekend suggested that. They suggested that actually we go from wide wingers in Nonto and Dan James, and we play with Aronson and Joffrey, or whoever else can play more centrally. If that is our plan B, it doesn't work very fucking well, does it? I mean, we did score, and we should have scored a second at the weekend from it, and it does confuse people, I should imagine, when you've got somebody hugging a touchline who then plays sort of 20 yards further in field and starts linking up a little bit more with the natural 10 and the number 9. But to start a game like that was just I still can't get my head around it. And I looked at that team sheet tonight, the starting lineup, and I was like, what formation are we playing? Like, I didn't have a clue before kickoff.
Yeah, it's mad. I do just want to finish up on some it's been long on it. Just some super chats that come on. Kieran says, sick of this, can't see us winning any of the next 4 now. Get him sacked now, honestly. 2 wins in 11 currently, that's scary. I read Alex's dinner. This is our last real chance of getting promotion, short of employing a miracle worker like Bielsa. Fans are right to be impatient. I don't even think it takes that, man. It doesn't need a miracle worker with this team, let's be honest. Farke still can get it right, man. Genuinely, how much time are we giving him? I don't think any of us want to even put a number on that. He's just got to win games of football. That's as mad as it is. He's got to win games of football.
Get the number.
Yeah, we beat West Brom on Saturday. We're absolutely fucking buzzing out.
Get Corbyn's number and it's all forgotten about.
Yeah, exactly.
I just wanted to keep the intensity and pace up for a full 45 or a full 90. That's what I want to see. Because when we play quick, when we play the incisive football, that's when we really shine through. And every time when we've done that, we are miles better than the opposition that we play. It's that level of consistency that just isn't quite there yet, I think.
Yeah, I think that's
one real good positive, I suppose, if any, is that at least it's highlighted now to the ownership that, you know, before we get to a
sign some fucking players.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
We're at a stage now where we can
actually.
We've got 2 weeks left. We've got to go. Yeah,
we've got to sign some bloody players. And if there's players here that are maybe umming and ahhing and waiting for a bid, speak to the clubs and get them gone, whoever that is, and sign some players. Yeah, for sure. For sure, it's got to happen and got to happen quick. Yeah. Sorry, I missed it, bro. Go on.
No, don't worry. Forget it.
Will you try to do a funny?
Yeah. You said for sure. I said no, Adam. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. For sure with an
E. Yeah, it was mad, wasn't it?
Show.
Listen, emotions are high tonight. As you can see, this is football. It means a hell of a lot to all of us. So yeah, know that we're all getting on as well, yeah. Know that we're all friends, right? So it's all good. We'll all have a good chinwag after this as well. Yeah. But listen, it's all love. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to Joe Blackburn, to Jack City, to Leeds Therapy, to Want to Know Better, to JT Live, and all other content creators out there. My dog's just fucking farted as well, and it absolutely stinks.
Get rid.
Yeah, that's it, man.
So
how long are you going to give him?
Yeah.
Bring Rufus in. Bring Rufus in.
I'm telling you, he'll be tied up with a sign on Edgett Road somewhere. Anyway, thanks everyone, and see you in a bit. Peace out, man.
See you later.